So every successful economy and every government that's trying to build healthy economies needs to prioritize the entrepreneurs. And most governments do, but I think that's the most important thing. And therefore, communities of people that want to be involved in whatever way are the backbone of that entrepreneurial ecosystem. Where will the needs of transportation systems be in 10 years or 20 years? When we think about healthcare, what will the healthcare needs be not next week, but next decade or even next century? We need to be thinking about these things, not because we can immediately fix them, but because we have the opportunity to be making some progress toward them. How can we bring something forward that stimulates people's thinking, helps people see something they may not have seen, or helps them think about something in a way they may not have considered? So from that perspective, we think that our role is to help people be looking to the future and not just be thinking about the present. When you're thinking about the speed at which computers can operate, it's amazing, but quantum computers will be operating at thousands of times that speed if you think about it in various ways. That would allow drug discovery to happen faster. That would allow epidemic modeling, like how quickly is this epidemic or pandemic spreading, requires more power to calculate all the different options than current computers are able to provide us. So those are ways in which these tools can help governments be most effective and citizens to be best served. What I'd love to hear is the voice of the entrepreneurs from Mexico and the voice of the political leaders from Mexico that say, how can I help these people create the conditions for this entrepreneurship to flourish? Governments can't make something happen, but they can create the conditions for something to happen, whether it's investment funding, regulation, education, infrastructure, but then the entrepreneur carries it forward. So this idea of exponential thinking is, don't be limited by all the things you think are problems, but instead think about all of the potential. If I could fix this, right? If I could bring food to every child that needs food in the country in which I live, and then the country next door to me, and beyond that, what would that take? What would that take? Is it production? Is it distribution? Is it quality? Is it nutrition? Maybe it's all those things. So trying to think of these things in a very unlimited, let's say, or unconstrained way is what we would think about when we think about exponential thinking. That the power is there, the technology in many cases is there if it was imagined differently. People that want to help are there. So one thing that might change is part of how entrepreneurs build companies is they sit with other people, they're working day and night with other people, sleeping at their desk, this idea of everything is the company. If you're not working in one place, how does that happen? That will be hard. I think that will change. But for the entrepreneur, I think they're still going to have to be with other people. It's just hard to build a company. And it's hard to build a company when you're not with other people. So I think that will reverse in that sense. Maybe not for companies, big companies, but I think for entrepreneurs, they have to go back to being together. The only thing that can overcome the technological disruption is the mind, because disruption is inevitable. Everything, all the time, is being disrupted. I don't know how to say it any differently. Every single day, something is being disrupted, either noticeably or not so noticeably, but it's still being disrupted. Every single day, the climate is changing in some fractional, maybe not noticeable way, but something is happening. But then there's things that are scary, Like, will I lose my job if this robot can put all these things on the shelf faster than me? The answer is probably. So that's a different type of disruption, in which case now the question isn't how do I overcome it? The question is, that's sort of the reality. How can I then work with that person so they have different skills? Maybe they learn how to manage the robot or work with the robot or whatever example. So let me think of it not as overcoming, sometimes demanding disruption, wanting, welcoming disruption,